What's up, guys? Jeff Cavaliere, AthleteX.com. No, I'm not trying to be an a-hole with the title. I'm actually going to show you a warm-up, my warm-up, that I use for my shoulders that you can actually use to build a lot of muscle, because we're going to take a little bit heavier weight, same exercises, and we're going to allow this to help us to build muscle via metabolic overload, right? We can drive as much metabolite accumulation as we possibly can by not just seeking the burn, but then reveling in it and chasing the burn even more, and not giving us a break as we go through these 12 exercises. It's called the deltoid dozen. We utilize one single plate. But let's rewind just a little bit first. We're talking about a warm-up. And if we take just to say a 5 or a 10-pound plate, if you go through the series of moves I'm going to show you here, you're going to hit your shoulders in all different planes, hit all heads of the deltoids, and get them feeling nice and loose before you head out to train. So let's walk through this first with the lighter weight. You can see me here as I first start with just some pendulums, right? All we want to do is just swing these things. We call them sweepers, back and forth. And you can see I'm getting a little bit of abduction on the arms. I'm getting nice and loose. The goal is to let the weight let my arms swing. Okay, utilize the weight to your advantage. All right, we progress that here up to a little bit of a transverse plane movement now. And we actually get our hips involved just to let the fluidity take place here. Don't lock yourself up. Let the arms, again, swing nice and free. You should feel as if your arms are starting to get nice and loose just from these first two movements. Okay, now the next thing you do is you actually lean forward and take that light plate, I realize, and you're going to row it to your belly. And what we're doing here is we're focusing on getting extension of the arms behind our body. The extension is going to be one of the easiest ways to start to introduce more mobility to the shoulders versus having to go straight at abduction or flexion or even overhead extension. Now from here we're going to actually take it a little bit higher, and this is almost a horizontal version of a face pull. Because here now the elbow travel is straight out to our sides. You almost want to pull the plate apart at the top and get more of a high pull effect, utilizing more of the upper back muscles and even more of the rear delts to do this. Now that we've kind of loosened up the shoulders and hit those indirect planes, now we can start to go a little bit more into that troublesome plane for a lot of people, and that's abduction. So we could do that here with a pendulum. And again, here we're actually utilizing a little bit of the momentum and the swing of the plate left to right to ease into abduction. And we're not just hitting the middle delt here, we're actually getting the rear delt as well, and even when we swing it to the front, we're getting some of that arm travel across the body, which is going to get the front delt too. So we're getting some elevation, we're getting that swing, we're actually taking it one step further every single time. And once we've done that now, let's challenge a little bit more the external rotation of the shoulders. So we're just going to stand up and now just do a sword raise. So we're actually lifting from the bottom left and then up towards our high right, or vice versa. The goal here is trying to get as high and externally rotated as you can at the top to continue to loosen up that shoulder into abduction, and now with the external rotation combined. So you're going to want to do that obviously on both sides. Now once we're standing, another great way we can actually activate the rotators of the shoulder is to take this plate and do the plate halo. We're actually trying to just circle the plate nice and tight around our head as much as we can, utilizing again the muscles of the rotator cuff and trying to get them nice and loose and warm in all planes in all directions. And of course you want to make sure you're not just taking it in one direction, but you're going both clockwise and counterclockwise around your head to adequately warm up both shoulders through both internal and external rotation. So with that accomplished, now we can actually move on to a little bit more of the pressing movements, right? So we've warmed up our shoulders, now let's start to press it a little bit. And we start with a very easy plate press out, straight from our upper chest and straight out, utilizing the front delts to a heavy degree. But we can actually shift that focus a little bit more to the side delt if we actually just push at an oblique angle. So after we push and felt nice and loose to the front, now we're going to push at the oblique angle. Make sure that the arm that stays straight is the side you're pushing to. So if I'm pushing to the right side, that arm goes out as straight as I can, and the left arm is there to really support it. So now what we're doing here with the plate 8 is we're actually making this a lot tougher. Even though it's a warm-up, by this time you can see I'm huffing and puffing here and I'm sweating. We want to be able to get our arms out there and keep the tension on the shoulders while we continue to mobilize. So now we're going in this figure 8 pattern, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, but never relieving the tension because my arms are being held out there the entire time. And now giving ourselves just a little bit of a much needed reprieve here, we go into the overhead trap raise, which again I've covered before on this channel, and this is going straight up but all the way overhead, and you can see what we're doing here is we're trying to activate and engage the lower traps. Very, very important for the stability of your shoulders. You want to make sure that they're active and alert before you start getting into some of your heavier overhead pressing movements to come in your later workout. And then finally we go here and we do our last exercise, which is the bus driver. And I actually use this one in my workout with Jinder Mahal if you haven't seen that here on our channel. And it is a ball buster for sure. The idea is, even as a warm-up, can you continue to drive the bus until your arms are just fried. They're super warm, they're ready to go. You can do anything now. You're ready to start your workout. Okay, now, so to recap and to actually check this out with the heavier weights here, this is where you're gonna build muscle, guys. I don't care if you're using a 45-pound plate like I am here, or whether you're using a 55-pound plate, or God help you if you can use a 100-pound plate, go to town with it. But I'm gonna tell you this, by the time you are done with all these movements, you are likely not gonna be using what you wanted to use when you set out to start this thing. It gets very, very difficult quickly. But you'd still do the same movements here. So recapping, we have our sweepers here back and forth. Remember, even with the heavier weight here, try to let the weight loosen up the shoulders. Then we go into this transverse plane where we're swinging the weight side to side. Again, utilize those hips to help loosen up the shoulders and get your entire body ready for what's to come. Now we bend over here, now with the more challenging weight. Again, very, very light for a row, but we have to start in that same plane. Remember, this is an accumulation, guys. Not just looking to fatigue ourselves to dead failure here. We're going for an accumulation. By the time we're done with all these reps, you should probably be aiming to do about 8 reps of each if you can. So we do the low row to the belly, and then we bring the plate up higher now until it's going up really high in our chest, looking for that sort of reverse face pull action with the plate. And then, of course, we now start going into that pendulum. You can see here a lot more difficult for me to pendulum this weight up and to the side and up and to the side. Now from here, we want to take it up again into the diagonal. We want to get a little bit higher, a little bit more external rotation. This is tough, but we do have that lower hand to spot if we need it, and it's going to come in handy for you. So as I'm trying to externally rotate and finish up nice and high on the sword raise, I do have that lower hand to help to spot me to get this. And of course, we're obviously, guys, we're working on both sides at a time. And then we work the halos the same way here. And it's a little bit more challenging, but because the plate is held nice and tight and your arms aren't as far out as they were on even some of the earlier exercises, the challenge is not as hard despite the fact that you've added more weight. But the benefit is still the same. We're loosening up and we're working those external rotators. Now from here, we start that pressing portion of this, and it becomes a lot more difficult when you've chosen that heavier weight. So we're doing the plate press outs here. Again, choosing a rep number and try to hit it every single time. Next, we now start taking up the oblique angle. So now we're working a little bit more of that middle delt because we're pushing out a little bit more to the side into abduction as opposed to straight out in front of us. Again, making sure to keep that outside arm, the pressing arm, straighter than you are on the assistance arm. Now from here, we sort of go into that really difficult portion here with the plate 8. And the plate 8, done with a 45-pound plate, as many of you have probably already can attest to, is not that easy, but it's worthwhile. You're going to go here, and again, by now the burn is probably substantially in place. If you have to even rest for a split second, make it a split second and get right back into action here. You want to really, really revel in that burn if you're going to benefit from the metabolic overload and the accumulation here of metabolites as you continue to rep out. That is what's going to be your stimulus for growth. It doesn't always have to come down to overload mechanical tension here. You can do this other ways, guys. I invite you to try this. So now, after we've done the plate 8, we give ourselves that slight reprieve with the trap raise. And this is no picnic. Doing a 45-pound plate as I'm doing here, straight up overhead, utilizing muscles that tend to be pretty weak in the lower traps is still going to be quite a challenge here. You want to try to get your 8 reps. And then finally, if you can, drive that damn bus. It ain't going to be easy at this point, but you want to try to do it for as long as you can here. It might even be just seconds, but fight it, fight it, fight it, get that burn, and keep it going. So there you have it, guys, 12 exercises in one routine that you could do either as a warm-up or as the main event. If you're going to apply that grit and determination and that little extra heavier weight that you're going to need to turn this into a metabolic stressor. Guys, it doesn't matter which one you choose. The idea is you have to have the understanding of why you're doing what you're doing. We always try to provide you with the education behind what we do, the science behind the strength, so that you can get the benefit out of what it is you're trying to do. If you're doing this for a warm-up, understand the differences of each exercise and what they're doing to your shoulders to help you to get closer to being warm and ready to start doing some heavier pressing, whatever other exercises you're going to do. But if you're going to turn this into that main show, the main event, then put that effort there, but know what it is you're doing again, so when you do push, you're pushing safely, you're pushing hard, you see results. Guys, if you're looking for a step-by-step program, head to athleanx.com and get our Athleanx training program. We put the science in every single thing we do to help you to get better results from what you do. In the meantime, I hope you guys found this video helpful. Let me know in the comments below, and whatever else you want me to cover, I'll do my best to do that for you in the days and weeks ahead. All right, guys, see you soon.